What's new?
Inimosi travisi. 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 Inimosi travisi.
Be on guard.
Please not rap skull.
Patrizio Turinos! Inimosi travisi. Ona Adayana. Ona Adayana. Bashani Savitur! Inimosi travisi! Inimosi travisi! Aborane sentes! Madritium Turinos! Ona Adayana! Ona Adayana! Ona Adayana! Aborane sentes! Aborane sentes!
What you want?
All this waiting bores me. Grotus awaits us.
Where now?
Keep your eyes open.
My skills are getting rusty.
I believe this is enough for the final boss.
Inimosi travisi!
Switch to unfair. Let's see how tough he is. It should be quite tough. He's got monarchs, he's got wild hunt, he's strong as fuck. Plus it's unfair. Save. We got 50 buffs, everyone.
Still hiding behind masks, eldest? Isn't it time you cast them away?
Words, words. How little value we attach to them, and how much they truly mean. But I've grown tired of words and prophecies. I will no longer predict chaos and death. Instead, I will show them to you myself.
Oh yes, the time has come! The time of fate and curses!
I'm scared shitless from you. 4 Wilderons, alright. We bombard the Lantern King. He has Dick too. The Episphere will save on everyone. Nice. What a cast Acid, you piece of shit. I don't have protection against Acid. Should have added that. Doomsday. They're all fine, seems like. 600 phantasmal killer, what the fuck? For real, man. For fucking real. Let's ignore everyone and go for him. Crazy motherfucker. 600 damage Phantasma. Is it unfair? It is.
My skills are getting rusty. Yes?
Depend on me.
Listening as hard as I can.
Let's try now. I think acid killed me.
Still,
Oh, yes, the time has come! The time of fate and curses!
It's fucking tough. CC won't work against him. The Lantern King. The Lantern King is a monk. 20 monk, 10 fate. Quarry, destructive aura. Burning. 38 strength, 53 wisdom. It's a wisdom monk, not a charisma monk. 60 armor class. Immune to diseases. 6 attacks per round. I don't want to look at him. He's got everything. Just keep healing. Keep healing. I will revive. I think Narissa will revive me. You for fucking real.
Quickly!
Negative levels. Can't believe it, but we need more buffs.
won't.
You don't seem to like my curses. Maybe you like my shows better?
He'll transform in all forms. I need to burst him and they all need to stay healthy for this part. They need to hit. I need a good crit and all is fine. See what else can we use.
Ona Adayana.
What's new?
Knock knock ears. With ears.
Minimosi Travisi. Magritium Turinos. Magritium Turinos. Stagioni Savitur. Stagioni Savitur.
You require my assistance?
That word should help.
What you want?
I'm open to your orders.
Please not rap skull.
Keep your eyes open.
Yes, I'm still here.
Here I am.
Listening as hard as I
All
can.
this waiting
I'm
for.
listening.
The angels
Where now?
My skills are getting rusty.
Let's try now. If it doesn't work, we add more and more till it works. Is it unfair? It is.
I won't be halted.
Quiet, I'm thinking.
Minimo.
Still,
Oh, yes, the time has come! The time of fate and curses!
I got him good this time. As long as no one dies now. We ignore Wilderons, we go straight for him. He casts 2 buffs at the start. So we're gonna charge. Such a bad luck. Remembered unfair.
Yes?
Minimosi, Travis.
I won't be halted.
Worth.
Oh, yes, the time has come! The time of fate and curses!
Dear God. It finally worked.
You don't seem to like my curses! Maybe I like my jokes better?
Where are you? You had 1 million attacks of opportunity, you idiots. Get him! Narissa should revive me. At least I hope so. Don't even know what one-shotted me. Fuck is that idiot doing? What the fuck? I'm going for the right one, that's the right one. But bloody hell, now I need damage. It wasn't the right one. Yeah, it was, but he TPs. Dear Lord, this fight.
Quickly!
Are you fucking kidding me?
Pile on!
Will you fucking die? Come on! You're unbelievable. You're unfucking believable. Someone hit him. What the fuck? I don't believe this shit. One hit! Come on! Darkness heal spell failed. What the fuck, one hit? Phantasmal Killer. Woo! One hit. I'm asking for one hit for a minute. Then, now, when Amiri died.
The time for laughter has passed. It's the hour of hunting and chaos.
So there are 4 phases. 4 fucking phases with this. And he even got a Monarch.
Knock knock used to lighting enemies on fire first.
And I don't have Amiri. Bullshit. I can't revive her. Narissa might do it. I'm not sure now.
One went deep.
Shit, they hurt. I lost protection from arrows. I can't kill a Monarch without a Miri.
And will be. Definitely will be.
And he escapes. Yeah, 4 phases. Each phase is the worst. Fuck, he jinxed.
Ona Adayana. Ona Adayana.
My skills are getting rusty.
Inimosi Travisi.
Let's try it now.
Oh yes, the time has come! The time of fate and curses!
Try with forceful bumps this time. See if I can interrupt them.
You don't seem to like
Was
my
easy
curses.
now.
Maybe you like my jokes,
If you can call that easy. TP is over there. Target those small idiots. Let him. Sunburst. Sunburst is fine. I got Firebrand. Stop moving around, you piece of shit.
The time for laughter has passed. It's the hour of hunting and chaos.
It's very hard now. It's extremely hard now. Fucking deplete your health. Firebrand works very well here. No, fuck no. I got buffs on me, no. It's over there. Fuck the wild hunt, go over there. Nice. Nice.
Enough. Time for masks is over. You risk challenging an eldest, and I accept the challenge. You will fight not a mere embodiment, but my true essence. This is my essence. I don't need magic or servile monsters to destroy you. Words are enough. Yes, words. I once told you, words spoken in the right time and place possess the power of a storm. You lightheartedly answer that you know what your power and essence are. Duty, and the desire to make the world a better place. I remember your answer. The world remembers it too. Your answer, your heart, your essence. Now, cursed King, I'm taking this part of your soul, as I took away Nerissa's ability to love. What you called your essence is yours no more.
Your words are nothing more than wind, let them fly away.
Let us continue. We both wear the crown. But what do you want? A meager patch of land, a few thousand souls? My dominion is chaos and magic, madness and deceit. Your power is nothing compared to mine. And that is why you are helpless before me. You will take my every blow as a divine punishment, as something imminent.
That's a lot of answers. Oof, 45 check on knowledge arcana. Holy shit, I succeeded. Don't try to threaten me.
I'm curious what you think of me, cursed king. Do you see me as a villain or a simple joker? In truth, well, I've never been able to conceive of the truth. Being an eldest means being one of the many strings that hold the world in place. Being an eldest means being such a vast and self-sufficient value that one's equals become strangers and one's inferiors are entirely insignificant. I am an eldest. Laughter, guile, transformation, that's what I am. Being what I am, I will let you feel a modicum of my loneliness. I will take away your pillar of strength.
What? Last bite.
Good. You can play with words. Let us see if you can withstand the heat of my fire.
Fucking basketball. We one-on-one? What? One-on-one? Fuck! Why are you so close to him? Smash the bitch! Fuck! Ha! Guess that, you fucktard. It's gonna hurt a lot if I don't kill him. Come on, attacks of opportunity. What are you doing? He goes for Nerissa. Kill them! Why am I down? The fuck, he knocked me out. Piece of shit. He's a smaller basketball now.
Defeat. What a refreshing feeling. I don't remember sensing it for a dozen millennia.
It was a pain on Unfair. It was really a pain.
But what's next? How will you end this story? Listen, I know it could end elegant and refined. The hero defeats a deity in battle. Impressive, he grants the victor power and immortality. The hero enters the chambers of the deity to become his champion and herald. Eternal, powerful, equally glorified both in the first world and in Valeria. His kingdom healed from its wounds and flourished under the rule of the immortal champion. A beautiful ending, isn't it? And this legend is yours for the asking.
Trust the laughing lie. Don't do this. Not after everything you and I have endured because of him. I can give you immortality and power, though not as much as the Lantern Kings. Perhaps we won't be able to stand against the Eldest, but accept my gift and my patronage. And together we will make him pay for what he's done.
How sad it is to hear you, Nerissa. Thousands of years for nothing! You haven't learned a single lesson. Never learned to atone. But what do you say?
Thousands of years for nothing. Finish him.
Did I tell you I don't like dying? Well, I don't. Perhaps we should stop this pointless exercise and speak seriously?
You can't finish the Eldest. What will you ask in return for immortality?
Well, that is easy. I will return your kingdom to Valerian and strengthen its connection to the First World. In their homeland, the Fae can endlessly return to life. I will give to you the same gift. So long as you remain an enclave of the First World, death within its borders will never threaten you. As for the prize, I'm offering you the position of a servant. Believe it or not, I am lonely. Divine power and immortality are a heavy burden. To accept it means losing all your friends and companions, but you can find allies and reliable assistance. This is what I'm looking for, herald and a general with whom I can share eternity, and together we'll play 1,000 wonderful pranks and spread our power across the first world and further. Much.
He wants to play 1,000 wonderful pranks. The entire thing is a prank for him. What will happen to Nerissa if I agree?
What do you think? I can let my misguided protege go wherever she likes. Knowing her, I'm doubtful she will become a humble exile.
I won't. I've come too far to go back. It might take me 1,000 years and thousands of deaths, but I will find a way to get back at you, eldest. Even if he betrays our alliance and becomes your puppet.
What do you suggest, Nerissa?
I suggest we do not kneel. We are both cursed, you and I. But so what? The curse can harm you only as much as affliction touches your kingdom. Now, with the eldest wounded and bleeding, his henchmen all slain, I can return your state to the material plane. It will heal its wounds, and so will you. I'll create a bond between you and the First World, granting you immortality. Just as the Lantern King promises.
And what role in all this shall I play, trespasser?
The role of the vanquished. I know you will hardly accept a defeat, eldest. You may try to attack us again, but we defeated you once. And we will do it again if we must. I'm ready to fight you forever if I have to.
We go with I will not bow to you, eldest. Don't get your hopes up. Here is my offer. Leave the curse, return my kingdom to Balerion, and forget we exist. And I will forget you exist. Since we can't kill him.
So be it. This performance has run its course. It would be unwise to continue. Besides, I have no love of dying, returning to life. My fellow eldest are very good at playing especially intricate pranks at that exact moment. You were cursed by my will. By my will, you are now freed from the curse. May the shackles be broken, fetters be loosened. What's been stolen will be returned. What's been divided will be made whole again. I say farewell, and release your kingdom to the material plane. Go, be glad of your ordinary mortal life. Forget the gods of the first world. Now they no longer concern you.
I can't believe it ended.
Now that the eldest and other spiteful beings wouldn't be bothering us, the king returned to his subjects and celebrated the victory and the end of the kingdom's miseries with great fanfare. Everything gradually returned to normal, including our exciting lives. Not always peaceful, but also not troubled by invasions from another world. And little by little, our heroes and the common folk began to forget the sorrows of the past. Sometimes, on clear spring nights, the king saw dreams. In them, the nymph Nerissa, fierce and wounded, battled the Jabberwock, died, and returned to life, again, and again, and again. The kingdom built by our hero became an example for all its neighbors. What else would you expect? The stolen lands became the only place where the citizens sincerely toast the health of their ruler. The citizens lived trouble-free, and taxes made it to the treasury without losses. A powerful army guards the peace. Exploration of magic is on par. The temples are flooded with their congregations. And, most importantly, our cultural contributions are at least the equal of Absalom. Just half a year after the war with the First World, Gault moved its troops to the southern border of the kingdom. Their attack was rebuffed. The enemy state's infantry could do little against soldiers who were skilled with their swords and knew the military arts better than the alphabet. Since then, Galt hasn't risked crossing any borders again, fearing cruel retaliation for further insolence. The king's subjects praise his generosity, while citizens of neighboring lands groan from crippling taxes. Citizens of the stolen lands have it pretty good. Truth be told, the treasury isn't always capable of paying the royal bills, and the throne room's adornments are clearly decaying. But sometimes you have to buy the people's love. Literally. Who'd have thought that some tiny barony founded in the stolen lands by an adventurer would become a real kingdom, playing a prominent part in world politics? Of course, not everyone likes the proactive stance of this young, bold state, but the fact of the matter is, they can't afford to ignore the king and his diplomats. The king became a true patron of fine crafts. Over time, the castle treasury filled with wonderful gifts from the best masters in the area. Armor, weapons, even magical artifacts. And the collection is still growing. No kingdom can function without its nobility, and the kingdom in the stolen lands is no exception. Landowners, ready to share the burden of ruling alongside the king, grew to be more and more influential over time. And the more pompous the court balls and receptions held by dukes and baronets became, the more eventful were the lives of the schemers and freeloaders who always live within the shadows of the powerful. The feud between Brevois North and South, which had been smoldering for ages, finally sparked the fires of civil war. Our troops lent aid to the forces of Restov, led by Sword Lord Jamandi Aldori. After several bloody battles, House Sertova was forced to recognize Restov's independence. The victory came at a high price, but we have no more loyal ally than once more free Rostland. Kasil Eldori, who lost an arm during the war, became a permanent ambassador of Rostland at our court.
I'm thinking about the last fight now. The only huge difference in my retries, in those 3-4 retries that that I made for the final fight, was Firebrand Communal, and that saved me from dying. It made a huge difference. It really made a huge difference.
Led by careful, level-headed Dugoth, the Tiger Lord's tribe reunited and started to lick the wounds left by the erratic Armagh. Little by little, they once again became one of the strongest mercenary armies in the region. Dugoth always assured our king of his friendship, but the king always stayed on his toes, understanding that anything could happen when that old fox is around. Pitax almost returned to its former state, a joyful city filled with beers of dubious quality and deals of questionable legality. The old trade houses lost the crown, but they retrieved the property Iravetti had taken from them. Soon, Pitax became almost like a second capital in the kingdom, a thriving city through which rivers of money from across the region ran. Unfortunately, we get much less of this money than we would like. Governor Lyachenza turned out to be helpless against widespread embezzlement. Amid chaos and fighting, Headmistress Gitaren managed to preserve the Academy of the Arts, though not its reputation. Only sycophants willing to dash off odes to the highest bidder, primarily our king, stayed to work and study under her tutelage. One could say the Academy still flourishes, though in the same way a pond covered with duckweed turns green on a sleepy summer day, slowly becoming a swamp. No one dreams of studying at the Academy anymore, but for those more concerned with reality than dreams, it will always have a comfortable room. Trolls and kobolds, two of the most savage native peoples living in the Gnarl Marches, were completely exterminated in the region. The forest paths became much safer, and the peasants' cattle have stopped going missing. Bartholomew Delgado still serves the king loyally. From time to time, he orders peculiar mechanisms and substances from all corners of the world. After receiving them, he spends a few days bragging about some great discovery he's about to make, then ends up gloomy for a few months. Then he receives another package, and the process repeats itself. At night, chilling screams are often heard from his laboratory. After After enduring so many storms and troubles, Varnhold eventually turned into a real city. Daring settlers decided to conquer the vast, wild expanses of Dunsword, and despite all odds, they succeeded. The modest colony that almost vanished at the hands of an ancient lich turned everything around to become a thriving city with lively river trading. Magar Varn didn't stay at the court for long. Having saved some seed money, he left service and organized a new Varnling host together with his general. And this new party of mercenaries has already helped our kingdom more than a few times. After the kobolds and mites disappeared, the empty caves beneath the old sycamore quickly became home to all kinds of disgusting critters. Giant centipedes being the most innocent and pleasant of them. Attempts have been made to clear out the caves, but it never takes long for something to take up residence again. In the end, the decision was made to block the entrances and burn the giant tree down, destroying the roots that held up the ceiling of the caves.
And destroy all sycamore.
Oleg's trading post continues to thrive, attracting even more travelers. Much to its
Oleg's trading
pleasure,
post is a hotel
small
now.
town is springing up around it. Despite Oleg's grumbling, he and his wife are well regarded by everyone, and Svetlana was even elected town chief. Making sure her sister was safe, the former bandit Kressel traveled south. Her trail went cold somewhere in Absalom's docks. They say she changed her name again and now serves on a trade ship, hiding from old acquaintances. Jod and Keston, after surviving the bloom, remained loyal to the king they followed through thick and thin, and they continue to serve as court advisors to this day. The austere priest and the gloomy warrior regularly argue over the proper way to govern the state, as well as which of the two rulers should hear out first. Some things never change. Keston Gares took a post as chief of the kingdom's guard. The former heir to a noble family never returned to Brevoy, severing all ties to his kin. However, a few years after the victory over the First World, a girl arrived from Brevoy and soon married Keston. They say Keston started smiling a lot more after that. Jod remained loyal to the king to the end of his days, healing the sick and generously sharing his austere wisdom with anyone who wished to hear it, and some who didn't. Having fulfilled his duty to the ruler, Erastel's priest peacefully departed this world, surrounded by friends and disciples. Tisana, Lamashtu's priestess, didn't remain in the king's service for long. One night, she just disappeared from the castle and set off for the kingdom's borders, preaching to anyone who would listen and granting the needy the blessing of the Mother of Monsters. Having participated in Lamashtu's ritual, Olika gave birth to a strong and healthy baby. Sadly, the child grew into an unruly and violent adolescent. Having named a peer at just 10 years of age, the boy escaped to the Gnarl Marches, fleeing the rage of a mob that tore his mother to pieces instead. No one knows what happened to the lad, but legends of Lamashtu's child, who sometimes kills lost travelers and sometimes leads them to safety, are passed on by word of mouth throughout the area.
Jesus Christ.
Breinhart became a loyal ally and trade partner of the kingdom, and Darvin himself had been seen as a frequent guest in the capital. The elegant monarch of the neighboring kingdom has broken many hearts at court. After his visits, many young guards and servants have been seen staring through windows, sighing wistfully about something. The Fae took a fancy to the kingdom, feeling totally at home here. They often play various pranks, but they never do any serious harm. Falcos and Teresia managed to restore the magic forest. Once freed of the anger of the Scythe Tree, people returned to the abandoned village, and it became a haven of friendship between the Fae and ordinary people, just like old times. The lizard folk of the Longtail tribe returned to live on the shores of Candlemere, but they couldn't return to their ancient way of life. Living alongside people, the lizard folk adopted their behaviors, habits, and even religion. More and more of the Longtail tribe pray not to the spirits of their ancestors, but to Erastil or Gorum. They even began to forget their original language. I hope someone writes down their songs and legends before they all sink into oblivion. A delegation of wizards from Absalom and other areas appeared in the kingdom one day, asking for permission to examine the lair of the Lich Farneris the Thoughtful. After completing their research, the wizards spent a long time thanking the king for freeing the world of that monster. In their opinion, he'd been capable of causing the end of the world, maybe even 2 worlds. The Sweet Teeth departed on a journey, hoping to see as many wonders as possible of this world and others. They keep sending us news from every corner of the map. Their bright painted wagon, drawn by a bull mastodon, crisscrosses Golarion, somehow appearing in the center of one incredible story after another. Evindra was glad to see the Lantern King's plans turn to dust. She spent some time helping restore the kingdom after the calamity, then returned home to the First World. They say the rebellious spirit of her cousin Nyrissa awoke within her as well. Evindra is said to recount our story to the Fae, encouraging them to question the power and might of the eldest. After the victory, the storyteller abandoned his affairs and began spending a lot of time alone in contemplation. He eventually bid farewell to the king and left his lands, but I suspect the inhabitants of Golarion haven't heard the last of this mysterious traveler, for his own story is hardly finished. The Amiri remained a pariah to her native tribe, but she stayed close friends with Nylak, who ruled the Six Bears wisely and taught them to survive in the unfamiliar plains and cities. The restless barbarian would often travel for long stretches of time, but sooner or later she would always return to her old friends, bragging about new scars and recounting new feats, many of which Nylak immortalized in song. Valerie stayed to serve the king, and to this day she continues to be a muse to many people. Not just bards and admirers, but to warriors as well. Honest and resilient, Valerie is not just famous for her feats in battle, but also for her patience and kindness, which she says the king helped her discover within herself. Harrim became famous, respected by dwarves throughout our kingdom as well as our neighbors, even as far as the Five Kings Mountains. He's often been asked to help out or teach others, and he's never denied anyone, despite his grumbling. Some people even listen to his preaching. Lucky for us, there's a lot less howling about the end of the world now, and more wise words of moderation and humility. Not all of his disciples turned to Grotus, but everyone took away something useful from his teachings. Octavia didn't stay still for very long. Soon, she and Reg went to Numeria and started a huge slave rebellion there. They didn't manage to destroy the Technic League, but to this day, slaves speak their names with admiration, and slavers with terror. Over the course of their journey, the two grew as close as ever, leaving their quarrels and resentments behind. After returning from Numeria, Octavia settled in her mother's house and became the king's advisor and loyal companion. Rigangar left for Numeria with Octavia to start a slave rebellion. Over the journey, he really matured and learned to understand others, as well as how to control his anger. After he returned, he took a position in the king's court. Being both formidable and charming, he inspired fear in the hearts of some and lust in others. There are even some rumors that he almost talked Octavia into marrying him, and possibly even continuing the Della Fiorni line. Once the war was over, Tristan kept his promise to Sarenrae. In the middle of celebrating the king's victory, the priest suddenly disappeared in a flash of light, vanishing forever. I hope Sarenrae didn't take the Movonic Deva's memory, so her servant might still remember us and the stolen lands. Or if she did, I hope he was at least able to forget everything about the lands in which he endured so much suffering.
То есть он is gone.
After the war ended, Ekin hung up his bow on the wall and traded the path of the ranger in for the craft of the carpenter. It may not be the most heroic ending to a tragic story like his, but as Torag is my witness, Ekin's happy with it, as is Alina, who became his wife and is bearing his child. Any baby born into this family will be pretty lucky, since the king himself still visits his old friend and will likely become the child's patron. Jubilost returned to the life of a traveling explorer, frequently visiting his favorite kingdom. He said so himself. His famous
Pathfinder.
studying the First World all opened with a dedication to his longtime companion, the king. Another name was also mentioned, 2Z, my guide and inspiration. Admirers would ask Jubilost many times about this mystery lady, but he would only chuckle, hitch his knapsack on his shoulder, and return to storm the vast expanses of the First World once again. As for Knock Knock, apologies, I mean Hero Knock Knock, he continued his questionably heroic efforts in the Stolen Lands. Despite whatever mess he fell into, no matter the danger he leapt into, he always seemed to scrape through just a little better off than before. Like true heroes, he simply never gave up, struggling on and meeting the challenge of each new day with a spirit that no mishap or misfortune could ever quell. The slightly inaccurate statue of him and the king still stands in the square to this day. The two figures side by side. I've always felt that, while the heights may be a bit off, let's say, it accurately reflects the size and spirit of the goblin hero who'd been nurtured by the teachings of his king. Kalika did not remain in our lands for long. She never lost hope of discovering some news of her sister's fate, and the sorrow in her heart drove her to restless journey. One day she left without saying goodbye. No one knows where, taking only the simple things she fled with from Kadira. Canera celebrated the victory along with everyone else, but was soon consumed by black thoughts about her missing sister. One day we discovered her house empty, her things sold, and Canera herself gone. All that remained was a short goodbye note. Despite all the woes that befell the country, our king remains a strong leader. Many noble houses from neighboring lands wouldn't hesitate to be related to him, and they regularly send a variety of marriage proposals. As for myself, the author of this book, Lindsay, who never chose a pretty nickname, I'm still here, inside my creation, within the Capitol Library. I live just like I always dreamed, surrounded by people and books, and not a day goes by without someone turning my pages. My story inspired many others to take up the quill. My readers have written many beautiful books and poems, transporting prisoners of humdrum lives into worlds of endless fantasy. What more could I dream of? I hope, O honored reader, that this story inspired some creativity in you, or at least offered some entertainment. In any case, it's time to set the final period.
A loading screen for the end. It's gotta end with a loading screen. It felt like I've been playing this game for years, I swear to God. It's how long it took for me. 15 Arodus, 4,714. We started. 4 years to complete the game. 4,710. 4,714. 4 years to finish. Dear God, I'm so fucking done with Pathfinder. We had a very good ending. Like, probably the best ending possible. Shit. I can't believe it's done. Alright, I finished with Children of Morta, I finished with Pathfinder. We start with something new. But we start with something new tomorrow, probably. Not today. I won't play Bard's Tale 4. I've seen it, I won't play it, for sure. Maybe in 6 months from now. He wants suicide. We'll see. Surge 2 is coming out soon. I'm gonna play Surge. The Surge. That's gonna be next. All in all, guys, this is it. It was quite hard, to be honest, with the final boss, but everything else, it was doable and unfair. The main problem with the game is overall balance. The first 10 hours for unfair are fucking ridiculous. And then after that you can go for the next 200 hours and finish everything, including the final fight. But the first 10 hours, you need to pass the first 10 hours, since it's balanced like shit. All in all, for fucking sure I'm playing Pathfinder Kingmaker for the next 10 years. We'll see. Nice and easy. I'll decide what I want to play today, I install something for tomorrow, and we start something new. People, thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you back soon, guys.